You're watching Brain Gainz. Hello everyone, and welcome to Brain Gainz, show brought to you live from Bodybuilding.com headquarters. Happy Halloween to everyone. It's good to have you all here. Today is a special day. If you saw our story yesterday, you will know that today we have kind of a cool, different vibe for our show.
Yeah, so what we decided to do, it's kind of been in the making for quite some time. The kind of common question or common statement you get in regards to dietary supplements is, why take them when you can just get food or eat food or try to fill those gaps? Well, we decided to take that comment and literally grab foods that are dedicated to the exact amounts and what you can get from the active ingredients within our private label pre-workout.
That's right. So we're going to go line by line through the facts panel of our signature pre-workout, and we have found foods that fill every one of those lines. And so hopefully you can get a little bit of a demonstration as to why it is we recommend supplements on top of regular food or as a supplement to a normal diet. Because yes, we always recommend people have strong diets, but then sometimes it is a little bit easier, and as you'll see, probably a little bit more cost effective to go with a supplement if you're going for a pre-workout as well. So, thank you everyone for being here once again. If you have any questions about what it is we're talking about today, we're going to go through the ingredients and kind of talk about the science behind them as well. If you have questions about those, feel free to throw those in chat right now. Or if we didn't get to your question, feel free to send us an email, brain.gainz@bodybuilding.com. That's with a Z, brain.gainz. But yeah, okay, so we're going to jump right in. Like I said, we're going to start at the top of the facts panel, and that is with the mineral called potassium. So, what is potassium? Potassium is an electrolyte, so it's the K on the elemental chart, and it's positively charged. But anyway, potassium is used for the transmission of signals through your nerves. And so we are getting our potassium today through the banana. And so we know that our product has 100 milligrams of potassium in it. Bananas are a real rich source of that. You actually only have to eat a quarter of a banana in order to get 100 milligrams of potassium. Now, there is no not weird way to eat a banana on camera, so we're going to do our best here.
Oh,
there you go.
Thank you. Also, it's worth noting that we are splitting a single serving of pre-workout. Doing one by ourselves, you'll see at the end of this, would be there's a particular active ingredient that is a wee bit too much that we would rather not do.
It's going to take a lot. Yeah. So anyway, 100 milligrams of potassium. This is a mineral that is generally associated also with muscle cramping, so making sure you have that electrolyte up is great. Also really important, like I said, for nerve transmission and muscle function, so we want to make sure that your potassium is very good. There you go. Why don't you take the next one?
Okay, next one we're going to rock with is calcium. So calcium is a fun one, and in this case, we decided to roll with the stereotypical milk. Milk. So in our serving, it is, 300 mgs? 25 milligrams of calcium in the product, so we're doing a tablespoon of milk a piece.
Do you really call it that?
No, I'm just saying it for fun.
All right, okay. I was really worried for a moment.
One alone.
This seems really insignificant, and that's because calcium is not like one of the main active ingredients of our pre-workout. But we did want it in there. I'm trying to be very careful not to spill any here. 1 tablespoon of milk. Here we go. Room temperature. All right. Next, magnesium. So magnesium, super important mineral for the body. I looked it up, and it is a part of over 300 enzymatic reactions throughout the body. So to say that it has like one single purpose is wrong. And I don't want to say like, if you get magnesium, you are going to get this single effect. That's really not why it's there. But we just want it there to support your electrolyte balance and to help support that 300 different things in your body all at the same time. So here we have almonds. Now, unfortunately, when I was doing my research over what kind of foods I wanted to showcase today, it was taking magnesium into account, and there's no awesome source of magnesium.
No.
And I'm having a lot of trouble getting through this. Here we go. So anyway, almonds were a pretty good option here. a quarter cup. So we're just gonna enjoy these together. And as we're munching on these almonds, because these are gonna take just a moment, we're gonna take a couple of questions from chat. Like I said, if you guys have any questions about what it is we're talking about today or any of the ingredients that we're going over, throw those in chat and we'll get to them here.
It's also worth noting these are not seasoned at all, so we're eating raw almonds.
Raw, unsalted almonds. Again, thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. So first question.
How important is it to take a pre-workout before exercise?
Well, again, this depends on what your goals are and what your preferences are and your ability to actually energize yourself. Excuse me, I'm talking while eating.
You're cute.
If you are a morning lifter like Tyler and myself, pre-workouts are very necessary or at least some fashion of stimulant. Tyler does have tummy issues as of now, so he's kind of avoiding the caffeine.
Thank you for announcing that.
You're welcome. I do not. So we prefer these, and there's been plenty of data to show that ingredients on top of caffeine can help in exercise performance, which we'll be touching on here.
That's right.
So you're getting your most out of your actual time while exercising.
So we've kind of talked over this before, and we actually even mentioned it earlier in the show. There is no need for a pre-workout. You can work out as much as you like without it, but it can be there to help support your workout, help you push maybe a little bit harder, up that intensity a little bit, and it's pretty easy to consume. So if you have the means to have a pre-workout, I say give it a shot. Do I need to cycle off of pre-workout? So cycling is kind of a reference to whether or not your body can sensitize itself to the ingredients in a product. We see cycling a lot with hormone products because your body gets really good at, or I shouldn't say cycling, but it's really good at regulating the amount of hormones it makes itself due to you consuming excess hormones. Now, since there's no hormones in any of our pre-workout products and any of our private label products, there really is no need to cycle. We do see once people start consuming products that are high in caffeine that you will start getting to the point where 200 milligrams of caffeine, like is in this product, may not be quite as stimulating as it would have been before. Your body does get used to caffeine. And so if you want to not consume it for a while so that you can kind of come off of the caffeine, I guess is not really the right word, but become less sensitized to it, take a 2-week break or so, you come back and it'll feel a lot more stimulating when you come back. So you're welcome to. Caffeine's really the only ingredient that you're going to become sensitized to there, but I don't see a huge danger in that. So.
And one fun question that rolled through, I feel like it's fun to address these ones. From Facebook, is it true that taking pre-workout can help to hair loss? Can help to hair loss? There's a little bit of the sentence missing. However, if it means can they help to prevent hair loss, we can't answer that. That would be...
I know of no scientific correlation, positive or negative, between pre-workout and the presence of hair.
You know what, though? Depending upon your genetics, probably.
That's not what I said.
It's just going to go.
All right. Okay, moving on. We are now one more mineral here to go over. Sorry, I have everything on my computer here, so it sounds like I know what I'm talking about. All right, so chloride. So chloride is another extremely important mineral that's a part of your electrolyte balance and muscle function. There are 145 milligrams of chloride in your body, and the most common source of chloride in our diet is sodium chloride, aka table salt. So we have portioned out a nice little cup of sodium chloride here. This is about 300 milligrams. We have a scale that is incapable of measuring milligrams, so I measured out a gram and took approximately a third of it, and that is what we have here. So 300 milligrams of salt.
Enjoy. In hindsight, we should have just mixed the almonds with that and done a 2-for-1.
Oh, I don't like it.
But that was fun.
You take the next one.
Oh, this is the one that we've been, this is the one that's really scary from our perspective, at least my own, because I despise this food. You can judge me if you want. Good for you.
Yeah, it's better.
So citrulline. Citrulline is the big bad boy that we're going to discuss here. So it's an amino acid that helps in vasodilation for the muscle pumps.
That's right.
And frequently throughout most health and fitness threads of naturally occurring sources of citrulline, watermelon's the key one. So for fun, back in the day, we looked up how much citrulline is actually in watermelon.
I'm still struggling.
Well, friends, to reach 5 grams, you need 17 cups of watermelon.
17 cups of watermelon. And I know cups is not a very intimidating word, but 17 of them is many cups. So this is 1 bowl, 2 bowls. We have a third bowl over here. And this is not yet 17 cups of watermelon. Thanks, Mark. Anyway, so I don't think we're gonna make it through all of this watermelon today. So I'm gonna put this back. We're gonna start munching on the watermelon here. I definitely just wanted this to be more of a visual aid.
Yeah.
And yet here we are.
Oh, you didn't even cheers.
Well,
That's rude.
you made me eat the salt. Anyway,
You just took it.
well, citrulline. So Alec kind of talked about it for a moment. We're gonna talk a little bit about what it is and what it does. Citrulline, as he mentioned, is an amino acid in what's called the nitric oxide pathway, which is this beautiful little circle of reactions that takes place in your body. Arginine turns into another amino acid, turns into another amino acid, turns into citrulline, turns back into arginine. And as a part of that reaction, nitric oxide, aka NO, is released into your body. And nitric oxide is a signaling molecule that signals a number of different pathways throughout your body. But one of the things that it does is it signals to the walls of your arteries and veins to relax, aka to expand, right? And that's called vasodilation. And so through that expansion, you get more blood flow throughout your body, thus allowing for more nutrients to be dispersed and more waste to be removed. And so anyway, we do see people use arginine in their products. The problem with consuming straight arginine is that your digestive system has an enzyme in it called arginase. And it actually eats up all that arginine and blocks it from getting into your bloodstream. It's just not as effective. So we usually recommend the consumption of citrulline because arginases don't really care about citrulline. And then citrulline gets turned right into arginine once it's into your bloodstream where there are no more arginases. And so then it can act in there. So anyway, cheers to citrulline.
Yeah, so I'm going to take some questions while you try to catch up.
All right, here we go. Yeah, go ahead.
Again, I despise watermelon, but I'm doing it for the sake of the show.
Way to take it for the team, yeah.
And for the record, it's not as bad as I remember last time I had it. Okay, so black coffee versus cream plus sugar coffee as pre-workout from YouTube. Well, that depends on a number of things. Your preference in coffee, for one. Me, I will always lean black coffee because I'm going for effect versus taste. But if you prefer your cream and sugar in your coffee, go for it. I know sugar before a workout can be beneficial in terms of a little extra fast energy you can burn. Cream, depending upon the strength of your stomach, if I did that, I would despise myself.
That would be some gurgles.
That would be not fun. You got the bubble guts, and that's not a good time.
Well, can I expand on that just a little bit?
Sure. Hey,
so you think about, I got some citrulline in my face? All right, that's fine. Anyway, you got to think about the macros of what you're consuming. Think about what these ingredients are at their very base. So with coffee, it's just you're leaching out some of the phytonutrients of coffee, and one of those things is caffeine. So you're not really getting any macros as a part of your coffee. No carbs, no fats, no proteins. It's just there's not a lot there. But then you're introducing cream and sugar. What is cream and sugar? So sugar is a carbohydrate, and you can use that as energy, and that's awesome. With cream, it's a little bit more sugar, but it's also a ton of fat. And so these macronutrients can be used as energy throughout your workout. Generally, most of what, especially the fat, is going to be doing is just adding to the calorie count for your day. So you're welcome to consume those. I probably wouldn't use a whole ton. If it helps you consume the coffee, which is what you're using to get your caffeine, fine, but make sure you're tracking those as a part of your daily macro intake because they count. So.
And from Facebook, Christina, yum, 17 cups of watermelon, ain't no thing.
No.
How about you show up and do it?
This ain't no thing. She's complimenting us.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
That ain't no thing.
No, that sounds like, hey, you guys are wimps. You guys can totally do this.
All right.
That's how I read it.
Here we go. This is,
So we're still going, and then let's see here. How can I prevent feeling jittery after I take a pre-workout?
Take less caffeine.
Or maybe have a little bit more food in your system beforehand.
It's true. So you think about what's happening. Your body is being shocked with a stimulatory ingredient. You can do, like I said, one of two things. Number one is if you are jittery and it's really getting to the point where it's uncomfortable for you, consume less, because that just means your body is having trouble dealing with it. Secondly, like Alex said, if you have a more full stomach, which I understand is pretty difficult to work out on, but if you have a full stomach, it means that you're not going to absorb everything from that pre-workout all at once very quickly, and so your body has some time to metabolize some of those ingredients. So hopefully it's a little bit smoother transition from no caffeine to full caffeine.
It's like if you've ever experienced you wanted to do, say, fasted cardio and you decided to take a rather high stimulant pre-workout, you might feel not so great in the stomach, and that is purely because it's just rushing through you. So, and
let's see. Here's a going. How long does pre-workout last?
depends?
This is a great it depends question. So caffeine is an ingredient that within your body has what's called a half-life, which is a description of how long it takes your body to metabolize it and make it so that it is not carrying out the action that it wants to anymore. So depending on how much coffee you consume, your body can only metabolize a certain amount at a time. So that stimulatory effect will last longer the more that you consume, because you can only break down a little bit at a time. So that will make it last longer. Also, if you take a pre-workout and then don't do anything, then you are keeping your metabolism fairly low. Thus, it will take longer for your body to get through it. But if you take a pre-workout and you go work out really hard at the gym, your blood's pumping, things are getting through, your liver's getting a ton of blood flow, which means that that's where all the P450 enzymes are breaking stuff down. Then you're going to go through it a little bit quicker. I've experienced this pretty intensely with BetaAlanine. If you take a product that's high in BetaAlanine, you get those tinglies all over. But then you go to the gym and it's like, okay, I just work out, and they actually stop pretty quickly because you're cycling through.
Which is a good segue into another question. Can you take BetaAlanine alone to be used as pre? I mean,
You could.
you could. I mean, that's like, if that's your ritual you want to do with that. I mean, BetaAlanine is outstanding, has a lot of, thank you, get it away. Has a lot of benefit for performance. If that's how you want to do, just that and water, it's not going to taste very good, to be honest.
No. So the thing about beta-alanine that I think is missed on some who haven't read into it a little bit more is that taking beta-alanine today is not going to help you in your workout today. Beta-alanine is one of the ingredients that fit into a category that we like to call the saturation ingredients. And that means that you have to take beta-alanine over a long period of time, so like 3 to 4 weeks every day, before your body is saturated enough for it to be active. Right? So it just takes time, kind of like creatine, if you've ever heard us talk about creatine loading and such like that. So we like to include beta-alanine as a part of the pre-workout because people are usually taking those as a part of their workout ritual, and it's just easy to include in those. And usually, like I mentioned before, if you've got the tingles from the beta-alanine, what's the first thing you do? You go to the gym and you work them off. So that's why we include it in pre-workouts. If you wanted to have it as a part of a different ritual, if you wanted to have it with your lunch or with your dinner or as a part of an afternoon, whatever, like it doesn't have to be pre-workout as long as it is continuous and chronic. I'm gonna have one more.
Do it.
I just don't want to get one with too many seeds.
Also, for the record, I thought we were going to eat everything before this, so I pre-logged everything in MyFitnessPal, assuming that we would do this. So
We don't want it to be like a 2-hour show.
well, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know what we were going to do.
This was not as sweet.
No, it's not.
No.
So I'm really happy about this. And the next one's more fun. So the next one we're going to touch on is leucine. Ty, want to take it from here?
Okay. All right. Leucine. So you've heard us talk multiple times about branched chain amino acids. So branched chain, there are 3 of them: leucine, isoleucine, and valine. These are the ingredients that we have found to be most closely affecting of muscle protein synthesis, right? And so if you are going to be working out and you want to activate that muscle protein synthesis within your body, leucine is how you start it. Now, you want leucine to be a part of a diet that is already high in protein. So that I don't want you I don't want to convey the idea that just consuming leucine is going to automatically make you look as buff as I look right now, because that's not the case. But it is good to have a high leucine content as a part of your diet. Whey protein already has a pretty high amount of leucine in it as well, but we are doing single ingredients today. Leucine comes from many different protein sources. Like I mentioned, whey protein, so milk products. It also comes in high amounts from meat, but today, after I finish this warm on, we are getting it from cheese.
Cheddar.
That's right, cheddar cheese. We got 2 apiece.
Yes.
But
so much better.
let's see. So we have a 3-gram dose of leucine as part of our product. That requires 3.5 ounces of cheddar. So it's actually pretty high in the cheese. And there you go. If anyone has any questions about leucine or how it works or why we chose the dose we did, please feel free to throw those in chat.
Let's see here. What is a good one? Oh, from YouTube. So this is a pretty easy one to answer on this one.
Oh, cheese is so much better.
It's so much better. Can I take pre-workout and creatine at the same time? Oh, that's an easy one, yeah. So creatine in general, as long as you can take it in a consistent manner to get 5 grams a day, you can do whatever you want. However, an easy way to do it, 3 to 5 grams. If you stack it on your pre-workout, or you have a pre-workout with creatine in it, that's great. For me personally, I'm kind of glad we don't have it in our pre-workout today, because to get a what we would consider 3 to 5 gram efficacious dose, 5 grams of creatine in, say, like steak, is 2.5 pounds of steak, which would be fun to attempt in front of you all and get meat sweats on camera.
Maybe one day
but
we'll do a creatine
maybe.
episode.
But yes, you can totally stack those together.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Creatine is one of those ingredients that we love to recommend because it's very useful as a part of an exercise diet. But it's absolutely one of those ingredients where when people ask, can't you just eat regular food? The answer is you could, but there's really no great concentrated source of creatine. So getting 5 grams, like Alec mentioned, is equivalent to like 2.5 pounds of meat. Now, as awesome as that would be, it's just really not financially viable, and also the concept of sitting down and eating 2.5 pounds of meat every day.
Sounds great.
It's a lot of beef. All right, we had a couple questions about beta-alanine. We are going to move on to beta-alanine as a part of Signature. It is a 1.5 gram dose in the product, and interestingly, it does not take that much chicken in order to get to that much beta-alanine. So we have 1 cup of roasted chicken. I think I may have read the wrong thing, so let's see here. I'm going to have to go on the fly here. So I'm going to try and make a cup of roasted chicken. Shout out to our producer, Mark, for going to the supermarket and getting us this nice roasted chicken and leaving it out on the counter overnight for us. I really appreciate it. But we're just going to go on the fly with this right now. But anyway, Alec, you want to talk a little bit more about beta-alanine, how you use it, and how you usually recommend it?
So beta-alanine is, like Tyler brought up, it's one of those saturation ingredients. So over time, it needs to build up in your system to be effective in what you're doing. So it's primarily used in performance, where you're kind of buffering the lactic acid building up in your body. So it allows you to perform without getting the little, oh, thank you.
No, this is mine. I'm cheersing now. Thank
fine.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, cold chicken.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those ingredients where it takes time, and it's really solid in terms of buffering lactic acid buildup. So then you're able to go longer.
There you go.
Get a couple extra reps in there before you hit the little pinch in your chest.
Okay, good. So yeah, beta-alanine. Check it out. You can get it from chicken. Awesome. Chicken probably won't give you the tingles though.
No.
Probably not.
But unless it's really hot chicken, which this is not.
It is not. All right, another YouTube question with a full mouth. Can you blend the watermelon and drink 17 cups?
You could. It's 2 liters of watermelon juice at that point.
We
looked into that.
We
Don't
tried
do
it.
that.
2
No,
liters
no.
of watermelon juice.
No.
I mean, it doesn't ruin the citrulline in any way to blend it, but
It's like almost 200 grams of sugar just right there.
a lot of sugar. All right. What do you think about BCAAs in energy drinks?
Oh no, it's what do you think
about Rain BCA energy drinks?
Oh, I have so much.
Those energy drinks generally are using they're kind of treating them like pre-workouts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have a lot of artificial flavoring. They have a ton of caffeine in them, and they have some branched chain amino acids. The difficulty with me recommending those is that we don't know the doses of the other ingredients that are in the product. They say they have branched chains. They say they have, whether it's taurine or guarana or any of the other of those ingredients. Because of the way it's labeled, we don't know how much of those ingredients are in there, so we really can't say, oh, this is an awesome source of, or it's not an awesome source of. What we do know is that there are 300 milligrams of caffeine in those products. We sell pre-workouts that have that much caffeine, but for like standard consumption, that's a lot of caffeine, so we just recommend you make sure that you know you can consume that much without getting too jittery, without getting overstimulated. And if you can, cool. They seem to be pretty tasty. We just don't know because of the way they're labeled. So anyway, more chicken for me.
Sorry, that was really dry. Back to that question, I think they're tasty, and a lot of people do as well. And if you want a midday pick-me-up, or that's your go-to stimulatory source, all means. Which pre-workout is best from Facebook? So that's hard for us to answer. So with this being not really a program in which we really just call out individual brands in this situation, depending upon what your goal is, whether you're going
It's another it depends question.
And we have done an episode about pre-workouts and the type of breakdown of kind of what you're going for: high energy, pump, performance, the beginner pre's. So
there are a plethora of different pre-workouts, all formulated differently, that cater to all different types of workout goals. So try different kinds. Try pre-workouts that are focused on different goals. They have ones that are high stim and low stim and pump focused, and make sure you try them all and figure out what's best for you. There is no such thing as a best pre-workout. We just try to make pre-workouts that are efficaciously dosed for people who have a particular set of goals, and then hopefully we can reach those people and let them know that our product is best for them.
True.
So another good question here. Does your weight matter for scoops of pre-workout that you should take? For example, does it have the same effect on a 150-pound person to a 200-pound person? It's a really good question, And the answer is generally it would have a slightly different effect on people of different size, which is why a lot of times when you look at the studies for ingredients that we use in our products, those studies are measuring the amount of caffeine that they give to someone or measuring the amount of whatever ingredient it is in a volume per kilogram of body weight. So I know the big recommendations for caffeine consumption as a part of a pre-workout is generally from 3 to 6 milligrams of caffeine per kilogram of body weight, because someone who's much smaller would have a much harder time metabolizing 300 milligrams of caffeine than someone who is much bigger. You know, there's much more blood for it to dissolve into, much more tissue for it to dissolve into. And so these products work at a particular concentration. And so if there's a greater volume of tissue, that means the concentration is going to be less, right? So
In most cases. But then if you want to, anecdotally speaking, I can handle my caffeine more than...
Yeah, well, that's different because you've been taking caffeine for so long.
I know.
Talking about newbies here.
I'm saying.
All right, you're being snarky at me. All right.
And then let's see here. Where was this? There's another one on here that I wanted to answer. Oh, okay. So what do you think about BCAAs versus CAAs versus whey protein? So that we actually have discussed that exact topic. Was it a couple months back? So I'd like to bring it up like a good, better, best system with this one. Good BCAAs in terms of you're getting some branched chain amino acids to help with muscle protein synthesis. Better with EAAs because you have an expanded ingredient or amino acid profile to help. And then whey protein's the best because it has everything. So, and then the bestest best would be, say, Whole Foods.
Protein. That's right.
So.
Okay, moving on. We only have a couple more left, so thank you so much for bearing with us. And again, if you have any more questions, feel free to throw those in chat. If we missed your question and it has now scrolled up, make sure you send us an email at brain.gainz@bodybuilding.com. That's with a Gainz with a Z. We'd love to answer your question there. Next ingredient, we have a gram of taurine in the pre-workout. We see taurine as a part of a lot of pre-workouts, a lot of energy drinks, and it is excellent for cardiac health, for antioxidant health, and so we believe it's a really good addition. It's really easy to consume. It doesn't mess with flavor very much, so a pretty solid addition. Yogurt is actually a really good source of of taurine, and so big shout out again to my great producer Mark for buying plain yogurts, plain. If only they made flavored versions, but no.
He's not dressed up
We're gonna
as
buy
anything today.
sour,
But he's still a monster.
white yogurt.
Also, I forgot to tell you,
Taurine.
since I'm doing the last ingredient by myself,
This one's all me,
yep,
man.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so we're just gonna
Here you go.
soup it on in there.
There you go.
Okay, so thank you.
You should just gulp it down. Just get it over with.
Yeah, just
Oh, that sounds.
oh,
You want some watermelon?
it's sour. All right. So, we're going to answer a couple more questions while I'm enjoying every bit of this. Let's see. Creatine, HCl, or monohydrate? Generally speaking, we usually talk about monohydrate because that's where most of the studies are. A wide number of studies have been done on monohydrate. Creatine HCl is a little bit newer to the market. It hasn't had as much time to be studied. There have been a couple, and they have been promising, but we just don't know as much about it. There's nothing about it that I know that says it's dangerous at all or not efficacious.
Or more efficacious.
Yeah, we just don't know. And so I usually recommend mono just because we've looked at it so much and we're so sure about its efficacy.
And then what foods are rich in creatine on YouTube? So we touched on this, steak, like red meat especially. Again, rich is really hard to say with this one just because creatine is in such small amounts to get to it. A 2.5 pound steak, it's huge. It's a slab.
Yeah.
That's like the definition of a slab.
Yeah.
Equates to a 5-gram scoop. So a lot of the animal sources, because animal amino acids kind of synonymous with one another with it. I'm not sure if there's a very nutrient-rich vegetarian source.
There is not. Actually, creatine is one of the nutrients that we really recommend for people who are on a vegan diet, because there's really not a great plant source of creatine. And so that generally is one of the places where they can make the most improvements in their workouts because their bodies are just kind of generally low in phosphocreatine. So that's a good supplement for people who are on vegetarian vegan diets. There you go.
And then while we're letting Tyler finish that one, we're going to kind of segue into the next one. He has to eat all of it, by the way.
I told him I would.
Since I'm about to do the last one by myself. So 200 milligrams caffeine. Everyone loves caffeine.
Yes.
So most people, again, they brought it up earlier, so black coffee versus so-and-so. So in that case, we have, both of these are filled with black coffee to equate to 200 milligrams. So it's about 20 ounces.
About 20 ounces of black coffee. Kind of depends on the roast. As you guys know, different types of coffee have different amounts of caffeine in them. And this is our good old-fashioned office coffee, so we got about 20 ounces of it because we figure it's about as average as it gets. So our good friend Alec is going to go pinky out on.
It's not as hot anymore.
There you go. Yeah, well, it was piping hot when we started the episode. Yeah.
So we had the smoke machine down here, just so you guys off camera. This had its own steam going that was matching well with the smoke, so it was scary. It was really warm.
Yeah, but you're good.
That's fine.
So anyway, 200 milligrams of caffeine. I'd say that relative to a lot of other pre-workouts, 200 milligrams in the grand scheme of things is not as much as we see in the world of pre's. But we didn't make Signature Pre-Workout to be the end-all, be-all, top-notch, high-stim product. We wanted it to be a little bit more accessible. So for those of you who feel that you are new to pre-workouts or are interested in trying them but are worried about having too much caffeine, we went a little light on the caffeine here just to make it a little bit easier to consume. So give it a shot. If you are still worried, feel free to take a half a scoop and then kind of work your way up to a full one from there.
And something to consider with that too as well. If you if you love our pre-workout and you want to like up your caffeine tolerance, or I should say, excuse me, if you up your caffeine intake, since this does come in a 30 serving, you can do a little bit more than the scoop and be just fine. A lot of the trends with, say, bougier pre's, by that I mean high performance pre-workouts, so a lot of like trademarked ingredients that roll through it that are meant to really just directly affect athletic performance better than most. They're more of the 20 serving variety. That's usually the trend. Mm-hmm. So if you feel like you want to take it a little step further, by all means, do it to it.
Go for it. Let's take a couple more questions before we call it a day. Let's see here. Pills versus powder. How does absorption differ? Not by much. The cellulose that the pills are usually wrapped in dissolves very, very quickly, and so those ingredients are released very quickly. Powders generally taste a little bit better, but if you like taking pills, that's okay. The problem with pills is volume. You know, for some of the new pre-workouts, we're seeing single scoops as high as 20, 25, even 30 grams of a product in order to get like full doses of everything that's in there. Mm-hmm. You can only fit, what, a gram, maybe two?
In a tablet?
Yeah,
or in a capsule?
In a capsule. I mean, maybe a gram into a capsule. So you definitely don't want to be taking 30 capsules of product before you go. It's just, that seems unpleasant, unless you want to. But
I mean, in the trend, some pre-workouts try to go that route, but usually their serving size are the micro.
Yeah, so you end up getting a less efficacious product because it's so much smaller.
And you see that in kind of a different method or different kind of delivery forms. So you'll see pre-workout gummies nowadays, which are an awesome idea. However, it's really hard to take down these like 3 or 4 gummies that don't taste that good.
Actually, I haven't had as much trouble with gummies. The problem with gummies for me is that gummies can only hold so much product.
That as well.
And so you get to the point where you'd have to consume, again, a lot of gummies, which ends up being a little bit of extra sugar, and you just don't want those calories. At least I don't. Is it true that the body can only use 30 grams of protein, quote, for muscle synthesis per meal, or for every 2.5 to 3 hours? I don't believe that it can't use it, but we have seen that the amount of muscle protein synthesis that takes place after protein consumption does kind of plateau out around 35 to 40 grams of protein. I don't know what that means for like if it's using it or not, or if it's using it strictly for muscle, or if you're breaking it down for energy. I wouldn't say that the protein beyond that is useless, but you would probably be best off just going with a standard serving size. I know 95% of protein powders generally portioned at 20 to 25 grams, and so that's really a sweet spot. And so we don't really generally recommend more because there's no real reason to. But if you want to eat more, cool. Like especially if you're trying to hit macros or hit a particular amount of calories throughout a day, then you can absolutely consume more. That's fine.
And again, we appreciate you guys coming in on this one. This has kind of been This has been a really fun idea that we've kind of been brainstorming the last few months, and to have it come to fruition. And if you guys enjoy this, we would love to extend this into different types of products or just one-off situations or fun, like
with flavored yogurt.
With flavored yogurt this time. I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been Greek yogurt, non-flavored, and it would have been
mega sticky.
He still would be eating it, but
all right. So thank you so much, guys. Before we let you go for today, we do have a couple things we wanted to announce about our website. We do have some new products that are on board, so if you want to see some of the new things that we have online, make sure you go check it out. Performance-inspired nutrition is now on Bodybuilding.com.
It's Marky Mark's brand, FYI.
Marky Mark brand. There you go. Mark Wahlberg. He's a good guy. So Performance Whey Protein, Performance Isolate Mass Gainer, and a plant-based protein, so go check those out. Method Performance Supplements now has Hardwire. Rhino Power has many new products. Gladiator, Premium Whey, Carbo Fuel, Recovery Capsules, Electrolyte Caps, Motivation Caps, Endurance Caps, Mana Superfood Bar. GAT has the Testrol Elite. Go Pure Labs has turmeric with ginger, keto BHB performance complex, organic ashwagandha. Feel Good Organic Superfoods now has the Alma capsules, and new and exclusive to Bodybuilding.com is Olympus Lifestyle. Make sure you go check those guys out. And they now have 3 products that are live with more on the way. So their Promises Protein, Jump, and No Mercy are live right now. And then their Levels pre-workout and their EAA drip are on the way very, very soon. Like I mentioned, those are exclusive. So if you want to check out Promises, they have some of the coolest labeling I've seen in a long time and some pretty great formulas. So really excited about those. We also have some new flavors. So Caged Muscle Casein with a K now has a chocolate shake. And then Civation Extend Sport now has blue raspberry ice and strawberry kiwi splash.
There we go.
We do have also, guys, just one more day of the Trick or Treat sale. A couple BOGOs there. So some of them are BOGO 50, some of them are BOGO 25, some of them are buy one, get one free, I think. Yeah, I'm getting the nod. That's right. Yes, so make sure you go check that out. But I think that's all we got for you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you being a part of eating our pre-workout. Hopefully, we'll see you next time. And still then, keep on lifting.
Signature Pre-Workout is the result of nearly 20 years of gathering suggestions and feedback from you, the lifters and athletes out there living the life. And we put everything we learned into our Signature Pre-Workout. Quality, results, and value. We designed Signature Pre-Workout to nail the sweet spot that too many miss. The blueberry actually tastes like blueberry. Plenty of pre-workouts on the market hide their ingredients or their dosages in proprietary blends. Not Signature. Look at the label, and you'll see exactly what's inside. Research-backed amounts of caffeine, taurine, L-Citrulline, Leucine, BetaAlanine, and electrolytes. 200 milligrams of caffeine is enough to crush your workout without the jitters. Each batch is made in the USA and has been third-party verified to be safe for sport, contaminant-free, and for purity. That means it's everything it says it is, and nothing more. These are the ingredients that athletes know will help them feel strong and dialed in for a few more sets, a few more reps, or a few more rounds. There's nothing secret about it. Take it before you train and you'll increase endurance, mental focus, muscle pump, and just have better workouts. A great pre at a great price. That's our promise. This is our signature. Signature Pre-Workout.